Again, good morning, everyone. This is Vasu Deshpande from Easylib Software Private Limited. I'm one of the founders of this company. As many of you know, Easylib has been providing software for the libraries all along. So recently, we have upgraded our software from being only the library software provider to the entire campus administration. So today's webinar is going to be on admissions automation part. As you know, the entire academic process, right, starts with getting a mind share of the student. The moment the student sees the advertisement of your college, your institution somewhere, or hears from his friends, that is where the relationship starts. Then goes all the way from applying for the admissions, actual admission, then attending the classes, timetable, examinations, quizzes, mascot generation, all the way he becomes alumni and maintains the lifetime relationship with the organization. This is the entire life cycle of the education system. So what we are doing here is that we are going to cover only one portion that is related to the admissions automation today. Okay, let's get started over here. So what all we are going to cover here today? So many of you are already in the academic administration. You know these procedures. What we are going to do is we are going to study these things as a recap, and we are going to also discuss how Easylib software, Easy UMS, what we are calling the Unified Management System, is going to help you in your in carrying out all these activities under your organization. So the steps involved are, first is the marketing portion. We'll go in detail. So then the application evaluation, selection and enrollment, fee collection, master data management. When we talk about the admission automation, these are the 5 steps that we are looking at to be automated as far as the admissions is concerned. Below you are seeing here what are the EasyLib modules which are built to help accomplish each of these processes within the admissions automation. When we go in detail, I will also be able to show a demo of these specific modules. If you wish, you can take a screenshot of this, and also we will be making a video of this available to all of you on our website easylib.net whenever you wish to see it again. Okay, so let's get started here. So many of you might have seen advertisements in the newspapers like this. Here are a couple of them. One of them is Vidya Mandir School Setup. That's where I studied. And another one is school in Bidar district. So here, right, so each of these have given advertisement in the papers informing people about the accomplishments of that of the school, right? So this is one of the ways the outreach is happening. Outreach is happening about your college. So when we say the first step, marketing for the admissions automation starts with outreach, right? Then the next is branding and positioning. Third is the lead generation. When we talk about the targeted outreach, what we are referring is that whichever, whether you are a school, college, polytechnic, or any discipline, first you want to identify who all are the potential students who can get admissions into your organization. When there is a lot of demand and there is a less supply, definitely you don't have to indulge in or take up many of the marketing activities because the supply is less, demand is more. However, in your area, if there are many schools, colleges which are offering the similar kind of courses, then marketing activities become even more important. Whether you call it as a marketing activity, outreach activity, or anything that which will reach the people comes under this specific area here. So let me to let other people who are going to join in. Okay. All right. So first thing is the what is targeted outreach over here. Here, what you are going to do is suppose let's take an example of a degree college over here. So if you are offering BA, BCom, BSc, and MBA, BCA, and other courses, right? You want to get as many potential students know about your college. One option is you are definitely following what the advertisement has been given in the newspapers about your past accomplishments. Secondly, what you can do is you can partner with some of the PU colleges, some of the colleges in the high school level to see can you get their data, right? Work with them. go and conduct some of the outreach activities, maybe about your college when the students are still studying in the 12th grade, right? So those who are going for MBBS or engineering or any other professional courses, most likely they will be allotted course through any of these NEET, KSET and others. However, in the absence of that, there you have active role in going to the colleges, especially the junior colleges, to see can you get the list of the students who may be your potential students of your college. So you get the data, do a segmentation, who is going to be potentially getting admission. Okay, then you do the targeted potential communication with each of them. You choose the different channels, whether the newspaper channel, TV advertisements, hoardings. So lot of these activities, just like any company does with respect to marketing its products, right? Here, what we are doing is we are reaching out the potential students to tell them how our educational institute is going to help them. Okay, so that is the very first activity. The second activity intermingled with is this branding and positioning, right? So what is this branding is about? Focus on creating a distinct and memorable identity. That is called as a branding, whereas positioning is related to establishing a distinct place actually, right? So if, for example, if you see this logo here, right? So this is an Apple logo. So any product of Apple will have Apple logo over here, right? In the previous example, every the school that is run by the society will have the society logo over here. So that is the branding part. When it comes to positioning, you are positioning where you are, right? For example, if you happen to be a kind of an organization like an IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, Indian Institute of Management, you position you are as a premier academic institute where the students are expected to be having more than 80 or 90% to get the admission. On the other hand, if you wish, you could have let me see if I can let other people automatically in. Okay. All right. So, on the other hand, you could position yourself for the people who are definitely scoring less because you specializing them, bringing them from 40 to 50% what they are getting the score today to 80 to 90%. One of the organization that I closely work with it was called Head Held High. Used to take the rural students, give them a lot of training, and in a few years they would become extraordinary. That was the positioning they did. Similarly, for your organization, what you want to do is make sure that you have a brand and you have a positioning defined. Then the next step is the lead generation. You did a branding positioning, you got the lot of data on who to approach with. Then now what you are going to do is keep in touch with the potential students to see whether they can be your potential students over here. In the case of the company, there is a called the customer. In case of education institute, they are becoming your students. So that is the lead generation. Here, what you are doing, lead capture, targeted audience, then inbound marketing. Can they get, by knowing, can they log into your advertisement or your website, fill in the application form? Outbound marketing, that is the WhatsApp communication, email communication, phone calls, and other things. So CRM, marketing activities, and all this all the way till the student or the potential student becomes actual student. Okay, so this is the first step in the admissions process. So many of times when we think that admission starts with student directly filling in the application, right? But however, and in Easylib, one of the things that we do is we try to go very deep into the subject, and we find that just like at any other college, right, having the students, the marketing outreach activities are part of the entire admission process itself. So what we have done is we studied the process, we built the entire application around that. The first step, so we talked about the outreach activities. So we have built an application over here within Easy UMS module, which will help you define the different projects that you are going to take. You define a marketing project. And under that marketing project, you define the different activities. You assign to the different owners, right? So one of the things, how the things get done in a large organization, which is a very efficient organization, on a weekly basis, they review what are the things that are going to be done on a weekly basis. Make sure that they are documented and the activities are identified. For each of the activity, the owners are identified, and regular communication is there to see what is the status of those activities. And in the following week, again, the whole thing is repeated. So what we have done in EasyLib, whether it could be the marketing project or any other type of projects, you can use our EasyLib project management module to define what project you are going to take, identify what activities you are going to do, and make sure that you track all the way to the completion. So that is how you can accomplish the targeted outreach part over here. Now comes to the branding and positioning. How can Easylib help in this area? So for that, this is more of an activity where a lot of design is involved. So we will be happy to work with you to train you on the things like a Canva, the MailChimp, and other places where you can work on the branding and positioning and the lead generation activities. Okay, now going more on the lead generation. So one of the things is that constant communication with them. So what we have done in EasyLib is that we have built the entire student relationship management system. So all the potential students, maybe about 10,000 of them in your area, who can be your potential students, out of which maybe 500 will become real students. So what you can do is you can upload all the data into Easylib system, and Easylib helps you track the communication before the admission you are having with the students. So it's a part of the counseling process. Entire counseling activities can be tracked within Easylib system. The application that I'm showing today is a fully ready application, right? It's a fully ready application. You just have to feed in the data. If you feed in the data of the students, it becomes the student's relationship management. If you feed in the data of the companies, it becomes the company relationship management system. Why I say student instead of the company and vice versa is that when during the admissions process, you want to feed in the data of the students because you are in touch with the students. However, going forward, you want to feed in the data of the companies because you want to be in touch with those companies to increase your placement of the students. Whether it's a student or a company or a peer organization, this entire relationship can be maintained within Easylib system. So this is one screen which tells customize the future contact list. It tells, okay, Idilip person, Akshay Mashalkar, he is supposed to do this activity. Vasu is supposed to do this activity. Sudhakar is supposed to do this activity. Fulfill means they have completed that activity, right? If it is a new one, he has not yet completed their activity, right? So this is sample data which helps each of your 5, 10, 100, 200 staff. You will be able to track what activities are assigned, they are being completed. Okay, so now this is a dashboard which will help you track how is the outreach activity going on, right? So suppose when you want to interact with thousands of students, the number of calls you will be making itself will be a few hundreds per day, right? If there is a definitely lot of supply and a lot of demand is there and the number of colleges is less, obviously that may not be required, right? Or however, when there is a lot of colleges and then you need to make sure that you are reaching as many students as possible, this systems becomes extremely important over here, wherein you are getting a picture of what is your team doing by different team members, by different activities, on what day, how many activities are conducted. Because the higher these activities, right, the higher the admissions expect. Okay. So we covered the marketing activity, wherein what you did was that you conducted outreach activities. Then you had a lot of these. Um, um, you did the branding, positioning. You closely track the activities to stay in touch with the students. Okay, or the potential students for them to become the actual students. Okay. Now, student has made up his mind. He wants to get admission in your place. What he will do? He will have to fill the application form. Correct. So, so this is the application evaluation phase within the admissions process. So here, first is the application process. The students log in and fill in the application data. So what you would need to do on your end, you need to define what courses you are going to teach, when you are going to teach, which campus it's going to be taught. So all this you do upfront. You also design the application form and you decide what is the application layout, what documents you want. All of this is done from your end. And from the students' end, they do the applications over here. Again, once they give the application, fill the application, you send them an acknowledgement. So that is the first part, application process. Then what you do? Application review. So you have a few thousand applications. Then you review this, right? You review the academic performance, standardized test score, extracurricular activities, any statements, essays, recommendations, work which is already done in that area which they are want to study, interview process. All of these are part of the application, right? So you did the groundwork to collect the applications. You collected the application, then you start reviewing. And once you review, you make a decision. Okay, we are ready to offer you the admissions over here. So you interact with the students by the communication part. While doing the communication, not only you give them the information whether they are selected or not, you also give them information about what are the fees they need to pay, about the information about the hostel, the any test that you are going to take, additional test that you are going to take for admissions, all of this, right? Prepare for the applications, take the applications, review the applications, make the decision, constant communication with the student. Now let's see how Easylib is going to help you that front. The very first step, what you can do, all these things here, so you are able to define which of the colleges you are going to give admissions over here. So there is an establishment module within Easylib which will help you track what applications, what courses you are going to offer in which of the colleges. So I am logging into the live Easylib application here. When you go to the establishment module, you are able to see which of them institutes you are running at your society. Easylib, as you see, right, it is developed for running an entire university, right? Many of you interact with the ATM, right? You go to the ATM and then withdraw the money. What is most important there? Whether the information is correctly displayed or not, whether the amount is correctly taken or not, whether the password is being fed correctly or not, whether the message is coming correctly or not. Those are the most important things in while dealing with the ATM. So you don't see the images, you don't see too many of the jazzy flashing stuff and all those. Because most important thing item here is how well your data is maintained. EasyLib is one such application. Bank software deals with the money, and here the EasyLib, Easy UMS software deals with your data, your students' data, which is of utmost sanctity. And that's why many of the EasyLib screens, you don't see too many images, jazzy screen, but it does the work that is required to make the things happen. So here what you are doing, you are defining different institutions. Then you will define courses. Then you will define which applications, which organizations, which courses you are offering. Okay, so that you do that, then the students will be able to go to this screen, choose the institute of yours where they want to apply, and academic year. By default, it can be this year. But if you happen to take the academic year admissions of next year, Easylib also has that facility, right? So which grade, course, whether it's a if it is only the course, right? You can look at that also because as per the new education policy, right? So any student can take any subject, and as long as he completes those 30 or 40 credits, he will be able to get a degree, right? So there is a lot of flexibility on what courses the students can take in that. I may be in engineering first year, my friend may be in engineering first year, but the subjects he takes could be different from the subjects I study, right? So that is why, so we have built the system to cater to the current method of education as well as what the new education policy specifies here. So the complete application form is over here. It goes down below for 3 or 4 pages. Again, there is an ability to customize. So you take the application form here, right? Once the students fill in application form, when you are logged in as an administrator, right? So you are able to see who all are the students have applied for admissions. So here you are seeing up the application number automatically generated. First name, last name, mobile number, email, grade, course, when was it submitted, then status, verification status over here. Because now what we are doing is we are transitioning from feeding the data to taking the applications to reviewing the applications. When you click on this, you get the ability to see the entire application, what they have submitted. You will be able to look at it, review it, make your review comments, and decide whether you want to grant the admission, you want to put it on hold, you want to do additional review, and so on. Maintain this particular status all the way until the students get admission or rejected. So this is a dashboard that tells you across your institutions, across this your society, okay, what is the grade? First year LLB law course. How many people submitted? How many are accepted? How many waiting, rejected, verified? You get a complete picture across your all courses on all years that you have got in your society. Again, there are many screens over here. You can see the application list, application entry, verification, graphical report, you name it. And this is a continuous improvement a process that's going on in Easylib software. And anytime if you need more enhancement, you simply click on support and you open a ticket, and the team will be working on those things. Okay, now coming back to here. Um, so this is the application scenario that you have got here, right? So at the end of this stage, you have made a decision whether to grant admission to somebody or not, right? Then after that, the next step is related to actual enrollment, right? You made the offer of admission. Now the student has to choose where he want to get admission, right? And because he may be getting admission from 4 or 5 colleges, he will choose one of them, right? Then he would also need to pay the necessary fees. Then there is a hostel involved, meals involved, mandatory, you may have a health check. What are the financials? What are the scholarships? There are so many of them that you see over here. In EasyLib, we have built the entire enrollment process as smooth as possible. First, before admission, you have the offer, acceptance decision, enrollment deposit, financial that you do. And during the admission, you collect additional fees that are required and go and enter the student into the college, assign him a particular section within the grade, and so on. Okay. Then after the student gets admission over here, then you will be allocating them, some more things that may be required here, right? So you might have got the admission for that student, assigned him to a particular theory section. Okay. Then once the classes start, you may be grouping different students into the different batches based on the practical sizes. So all of these different activities are after admission. So let's see some of the screens within Easylib, how they look here. So if you see here, right, you are seeing multiple of them, right? Grade section enrollment. That is for enrolling somebody into the, let's say, BA first year A section, right? Grade batch enrollment. That is to enroll somebody into the MBBS first year batch number 1. The section may be A section, but the batch may be divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So different batches are there. And then there is a class enrollment, because if you happen to be a school, you pretty much enroll everybody into 5th A, 5th B, 5th C, and all that. However, as the student gets into higher education, there, even though the student may be BA first year or BSc, some of the students will be in the statistics, some in the mathematics, some in the computer side, even though they may be taking all the PCM, right? So it all variable over here. Basically, based on the electives, you need the ability to enroll the students to different classes, right? And now, as per this new education policy, irrespective of any classes, you can enroll any student to directly the course itself, right? Especially, say, for example, if you are offering some of the yoga classes, right? Across your campus, maybe 3,000 students, any 100, 200 student, irrespective of what grade and the class they are studying, they can enroll for your courses. Again, EasyLib has the ability to enroll you over here. Okay. So now, where the enrollment completes, you also get a complete statistics of what is happening. Say, for example, in this academic year, in this institute, this grade, this subject, how many students are enrolled. Again, if you click on it, you will see the list of the students here. And you click on the student name, you get the further details of the student. It goes in a very iterative way to help managing the system as easy as possible. Okay, so now what we did here, we enrolled the student into the grade section courses, and automatically the system defined a roll number. Equally important is the fee management, right? Again, there are three parts over here. The first is the fee setup, fee collection, fee reporting, right? So some of the unique things that are in Easylib related to the fee setup is that one, it gives the ability to define the fees for a particular grade. Then you can define it by the category general merit, 2A, 2B. You can define by the category. And if you happen to have the management quota, you also can define it by the management quota. And in case you are doing any customization at the individual student level, that also you can do. Okay, so the fee structure flows in a hierarchical way where the general fee structure, then category wise fee structure, then additional discounts or anything that you are giving, and individualized fee structure. All of that can be done in easily. Then there is a fees collection. For different areas, you will be collecting the fees. Again, there is a Easylib application over here. And then there is a fee reporting, which will help you daily collections, expected receipts, right? What are the overdue? Daily collections basically that give the list of how much was collected. Expected, okay, this month, what is the cash flow that is going to be for your organization? Overdue, those who should have paid last month have not paid. How much is the overdue you are running? The complete information of what is your fee structure, you can see in easily over here. Here is a sample data. So here the institute, you define the different fees for this particular fee reason. What is the amount? What is the currency? And what is it set for? What grade you are setting? So for your different grades, right? Different batches, different courses, sections, you can define the fee structure here. And once you do that, there is an ability to build a schedule. So what you do is you say, for example, I am just saying here, let's say 10th grade A section or 10th grade, you define the fee. Then you click one button, all the students in the 10th grade, that schedule gets multiplied along with the date, right? That helps you identify these are the 100 students in the 10th grade, and this is the schedule. This is the amount that should have been collected, should be collected, and this is what is received, and this is the duration wise amount next expected next in 10 months. So you can get the complete picture of that fee reason. Okay, of course, there are a lot of additional things that you may want because every organization may have a certain requirement. What we can do, what we intend to do is that we work with you, deploy the current system as is, then work with you to make sure that the changes that you requested are incorporated into the system. Because Easylib, as you see, is an extremely large application. Easy UMS is a very, very large application. You can imagine the one portion, which is the library portion in the campus, right, has got 7 modules, and each of the module has got 50 to 100 screens. Cataloging of a book itself, here you are seeing about 60 screens here. Now you can imagine how much will be the size of the application when we are trying to cover the entire life cycle of a student, right? All the way from the marketing activities till the alumni and the donation management, and in between everything, including admissions, attendance, student information, staff information, examinations, timetable, placement, transport, hostel, you name it. Right? It's an extremely large application. That's why what we have done is we have built the common platform which will cater to your need, and any additional changes that you would wish, we'll be happy to incorporate and make the system as user friendly and as beneficial to as it can. So this is the fees list that I'm showing over here. Okay, then the last portion over here. You did the marketing, and the second step, you collect the application forms. Third step, you granted the admission and enrolled into a class. Fourth step, you collected the fees or you define the structure. The last is the master data management, because once the data is fed into your system, it doesn't have to be repeatedly fed once again. That is the beauty of the information technology. The very first information the student fills in the application, right? So he would have filled his name, address, phone number, Aadhaar, and all that information. So that is the basic data. Once he has filled it while filling his marketing details or filling his application form, he doesn't have to fill anywhere again. That's the kind of master data that we are talking about, right? So you have all this data, then you assign a student ID for that student, and then onwards you track the data with student ID. Then, first year the student got admission to, let's say, engineering first year. The next year he will be in the third semester, fifth semester, seventh semester. You don't have to refeed the data once again. You just have to smoothly move from one layer to another layer. So that is the second category wherein you feed the manage the basic master data. Then you manage the current data of that particular student here. That includes the enrollment, often the grade, classes, electives, all of it. The last portion of the master data management is how well you have interfaces with the other applications, right? Others modules in Easylib here. So admissions we covered only till the student got admission and got a student ID. Then there is a timetable, right? Then there is an attendance over here, exams, tests, right? For example, if I take the timetable, when the student logs in, he should be able to click a button, see the complete timetable of that particular classes that he is studying, right? And when he clicks another button, he should be able to see the attendance performance. So the entire admissions process should have a solid interface with all the downstream applications of your organization. The beauty of EasyLib is that it maintains everything in one large database here, right? So this is the application with about 40 different modules, out of which 8 of them are purely for the library. Then about 32 to 35 of them are covering different areas of your academic administration. So the master data is very solid in Easylib, and if somebody is called as a Ramesh space Kumar in one place in Easylib, throughout your application, he will always be Ramesh Kumar, Ramesh space Kumar. But if you don't have this kind of system, you may be ending up with R Kumar at one place, Ramesh K at another place, Ramesh space Kumar in one more place, Ramesh Kumar with no space in another place, and so on. This is an example of the data inconsistency you may end up when you happen to have multiple applications for your large organization. That is where you will play the role. All the data comes into one single place, and each of these modules work with each other. Okay. Now coming back here to the master data, all these downstream systems use the data created by the admissions. Here we will see some of the screens related to that. So master data, right? Here we are seeing the master data of about something like 31,000 real records we have fed over here. This is the real application with the sample data over here, right? So if I see here, student data, student master data, you have got 31,000. So now I just click on this and it's pretty fast, right? If I want to see how many Ramesh on your organization, you see all the Ramesh here, right? So, and anything, if I want to see my name, I see my name, right? So my email ID is there. So you can imagine the system is pretty fast even with the large amount of data. So that is where it's so important that when you get the application, you get the solid application from a company like Easy. Right? It is not the question of writing one or two screens which will help you feed the data and manage it. But it is a question of how well the solid system is built, which will run for decades together. That is why you see that when we do the testing, we do the testing with about tens of thousands of student record. And we did the setting for the establishment. We set up different organizations, including medical, engineering, dental, pharmacy, physiotherapy, degree, school, to see how well our Easylib system performs under these diverse conditions. Okay, so now this is the master data of all the students. Then comes here, this is the, if I click on a student, I see the further detail, first name, last name, status, gender, and all that thing, and including some of the customization field and this photograph and all that. Again, you see here, this is a blank screen, or this is a very plain screen. But the most important thing is how well the data is maintained, and that is our focus area in the entire Easylib application. Okay, and you go down to the left further here, there is a student personal details, academic details, entrance exam, family details, right? So all of this is maintained. Data sheet and bulk update deal with, can I change department of these 100 students from X to Y directly in one go? That kind of thing. And member import. Suppose, if you have already the data of the student in Excel, for this year onwards, you may use Easylib admissions model. But for the last 10 years data, what you do? You simply give in Excel. Easylib has the ability to import all that data into Easylib. Again, we deal with thousands of rows here, which can be imported in Easylib system within a matter of 1 or 2 days over here. Usually, the entire Easylib deployment completes within a week, wherein all your data comes in over here. And in the extreme complex cases, it may go a little larger, but many places, the basic data, whatever is, the student data, class data, setup of your classes, admissions import, the setting up of your timetables, the assignments, whatever is required to get started, usually it's less than 1 week of activity. Okay, so again, if I go further down here, there is a member document wherein you can store hundreds of documents, not hundreds, maybe 10 or 12 documents. SSLC 10th grade marks card, 12th grade, their KSET score, their COMED score if it is applicable, or NEET score, whatever documents you want to capture for that student, you have the ability to capture it over here. Then there are some of the graphical report, there is the customized report. You can build the conditions, show only the students who are in particular grade in this department and got the admission between this period and this period. You can run the conditions, you can have the conditions, get the reports the way you like, right? And we are talking about the other applications, right? Easylib has the built-in applications for subsequent modules here. This is the timetable that I'm showing here. Here are about 30 screens here. Again, very detailed application with respect to the timetable. Then we are talking about the attendance module here. By grade, section, date, by classes, by course. In the simplistic level, it can be as simple as taking the application in a register. But when you want to have the data, historical data of years together, it requires a solid system. So that is why you will see so many screens in Easylib, which will help you do that, right? So I can go on and on over here. And Easylib is a very large application, as I told. Today I covered only the admissions part, wherein just let me recap the portions in the admissions. So we will go back to the screen where we had the different applications, different processes for the admission, right? So here, so first you did the marketing to outreach to the students, identify the students, work with them, convince them to become your student. Then you took the applications, you evaluated, granted them applications. Then you created a master data for the student, and then you fed into the enrollment data, right? And enroll by grade, section, class, and all. Then you have the fees collection. So you set up the fees, even individualized fees. Then you got started with the fee collection. Lastly, you had the master data, wherein the student master data was maintained for years or even decades together, because an alumni is an alumni throughout his lifetime. Next to 50, 60, 80 years, right? He's an alumni. So all that data should reside with you. And we also discussed about the other applications, including timetable, attendance, exams, and how well the system works. So in Easylib, as you see, each of these 5 steps have a corresponding Easylib over here. Sales desk, event desk, project management. We did not cover that, the event management. Even there is a module wherein when you want to conduct any events, you announce the event. Easylib has that feature. You announce a registration. Easylib has that feature. Collect the registrations on Easylib, right? EasyUMS, and be in touch with them. So, for example, today's webinar, right? All of you might have filled that application form. So that is coming again from Easylib. You can use that for your admissions process. So, this event project management. Then admissions module, communication module, which will help you send message to hundreds of students at a time. Then there is a complete enrollment module, member management, student management module, fee module is there, the in-depth student master data management. Then all these modules there, including timetable, attendance, exams, transport, hostel, you name it, anything, either it's fully ready or it's ready to be used with some additional modifications, right? So to summarize, the purpose of this webinar was to give an overview of the entire flow and to help you how understand or give an overview of how different modules of Easylib are positioned to help you, right? I hope the last 45 minutes have been worth your time, and I'll be happy to take the questions. And those of you have questions, kindly please post it in the chat, or here are my email IDs. My name is Vasudev Deshpande. I'm one of the founders of the company. We started this company about 20 years back, and then we wanted to develop the software which is as robust as it should be, which is very widely functional, and we provide a solid support. And then we have achieved that in the library space thanks to over 500 uh, uh, sorry, 630 customers that we have across Karnataka, about 10 states of India, and another 8 countries worldwide. Thanks to all of you for being with us. And now we are in our next journey to transition from being the primary software provider for only for the library to the entire campus automation, including many things that not necessarily only related to the campus, but it could be inventory management, service desk, sales desk, project management, all of them we can do over here. This is my number, and here is the other contact details of Sidhu, who is our manager in the sales. His email ID sidhuhc@easylib.net, and his phone number. And you're always welcome to see our website, see the videos, look at our brochures, approach us anytime. We'll be happy to work with you, and love to have you as our customer for our unified management system by Easylib. Thank you so much. Open to questions now. Kindly post the questions in the chat. I'll read it out and answer those questions. Thank you. Okay, that's good. We have about 12 attendees. Okay, so one of the questions that participant has asked is related to the library management module. A very good question. Our foundation is the library software, and if you happen to be using Easylib software already, and you are already an Easylib 6.4 version, it's very easy to upgrade you onto the campus ERP. We will just enable those additional modules. We will train you and you get started. And those of you who are not a customer of Easylib, no issues. We will work with you and plan on how to migrate your data from the existing system onto Easylib and get you onboarded. Okay, let's see any other questions. Okay. Um, Somebody asked a question about the next webinar series, right? Um, so the webinars will continue to happen either once or twice a week. And this week we conducted the webinar on this admissions. Before this, we had a webinar on the digital library. Before that, there was a webinar on the student lifecycle management. We had another webinar on the Easylib demo, the UMS demo, and this has been continuing. The next webinar is going to be on the following Wednesday, same time, 11 to 12 o'clock. We'll be going over different module in that case. Okay, I'll be happy to take the questions or stay on the line. If you don't have questions, either you can stay on or disconnect from the webinar. Thank you so much.